All right, let's dive right into this explainer. As a nutritionist, I constantly see this really frustrating reality. You're managing a super high stress career. You've got deadlines looming, back to back meetings, and yet, for a few days every single month, you're battling soul crushing cramps, deep fatigue, and a level of brain fog that makes sending a simple email feel literally impossible. Look, as a high achieving woman, you would never accept this kind of performance drop in any other area of your life. So, why on earth do we accept it from our bodies?
We have all been there, right? Curled up with a hot water bottle, digging into a giant tub of ice cream, just raiding the medicine cabinet and hoping for a miracle. But let's be real for a second. When you have a million things on your plate and a whole team relying on you, curling into a ball just isn't a sustainable strategy. It's actually an incredibly ineffective way to manage both your physical health and your demanding schedule.
So it's time to totally flip the script. We are moving away from the old way of just surviving your period. Instead, your kitchen is about to become your new medicine cabinet. We're going to use strategic, targeted food choices to turn your cycle from a monthly nightmare into an actual health superpower. We aren't just dealing with it anymore, we are cycle hacking. Here is our exact game plan for today. We'll cover the period power shift, lay out specific meal plans for your luteal and menstrual phases, dive into some targeted natural pain swaps, and finally, look at the inflammation traps you absolutely have to avoid. Okay, kicking things off with part one, the period power shift. We're reframing the menstrual cycle through science. Moving right along to part two, the luteal phase meal plan, which is essentially your 10-day pregame to completely squash PMS. So the luteal phase is that crucial 7 to 10-day window right before your period starts. Right when the crankiness usually sets in. Well, science shows that what you put on your plate right now actually changes the chemistry of your cycle. To proactively squash that heavy fatigue before it derails your work week, let's build a really simple meal plan. Early in the week, to fight fatigue, bring in magnesium. Think a big spinach salad on Monday, or maybe snacking on pumpkin seeds and dark chocolate by Wednesday. Then, to beat the bloat as the week goes on, plan for high-fiber breakfast with berries, and pair that with a daily habit of lemon or cucumber water to literally flush your system. Now, I want you to look at this number because it is absolutely huge. 40%. Research shows that pairing vitamin D and calcium in your weekly meals, like, say, starting your Thursday with eggs and cheese, or ending your Friday with baked salmon and bok choy, can actually slash your PMS risk by a massive 40%. That is a total game changer for anyone trying to maintain peak cognitive and physical performance during this phase. Which brings us to part three, the menstrual phase meal plan. Think of this as your flow rescue for beating brain fog. When the bleeding actually starts, your iron and B12 levels take a sudden nosedive. And that's exactly what causes that productivity-killing brain fog that makes staring at a spreadsheet feel like you're translating ancient Greek. So your meal plan for this phase needs to rebuild that energy fast. Plan for dinners featuring cooked greens, lentils, or tofu. But here is a little nutritionist trick. Always pair them with a vitamin C cofactor. Have an orange or kiwi with your lunch to ensure your body actually absorbs that iron. Also, prep lunches with salmon or walnuts so you can really load up on omega-3s. So why are omega-3s so incredibly important? It all comes down to a little thing called prostaglandins. Basically, these are the chemicals that make your uterus contract so painfully during menstruation. Omega-3s act as your body's shield. They actively fight off those prostaglandins. The science is surprisingly simple here. Lower these chemicals in your body through your diet, and you directly lower the amount of pain you experience. All right, part four, natural pain med swaps. Let me introduce you to the Anti-Inflammatory Strike Team. Look, even with the best meal plan in the world, sometimes the cramps just sneak through. But when you are in the thick of it, don't just reflexively reach for the Advil or ibuprofen. Those over-the-counter meds often come with stomach upset, and really, they're just masking your symptoms temporarily. Instead, we have a targeted strike team, pineapple, ginger, turmeric, and picogeniol, designed specifically to tackle the root cause of the inflammation without any of those nasty side effects. Let's dig into exactly why this works, because the science here is just fascinating. Take pineapple, for example. It is incredible because it contains an active compound called bromelain. Bromelain acts as a powerful, totally natural muscle relaxer that directly targets those severe cramps. Meanwhile, turmeric contains curcumin, which is fantastic because it gives you a much-needed psychological boost for your mood while simultaneously addressing the physical symptoms of PMS.
And to round out that strike team, you'll definitely want to add ginger tea. Ginger is scientifically proven to alleviate extreme menstrual pain, medically known as dysmenorrhea. Next, add some chamomile to soothe your nervous system and just calm that underlying anxiety. And finally, we have the ultimate biohacker secret, pycnogenol, which is an extract from French maritime pine bark. It is absolutely amazing. Studies literally show that incorporating this can lead to completely pain-free periods. Just imagine powering through a heavy work week with zero pain, simply because you upgraded what's in your pantry.
Finally, Part 5, Inflammation Traps to Avoid. These are your dietary saboteurs. Because honestly, it's not just about what you add into your diet. It's about what you take out. We absolutely must identify these common traps because they trigger massive cortisol spikes and totally ruin your hormone metabolism, which is disastrous when you're already operating under high stress. You've got to avoid high-salt foods like chips because they trap water and feel that bloated feeling. Red meat and fatty junk foods, they can actually trigger significantly heavier flows. And lastly, beware of caffeine and sugar. I know you might crave a sugar high to power through an afternoon slump, but it causes cortisol spikes that make your sensitive hormones just go completely haywire. So, what are you supposed to do when that 3 p.m. fatigue hits hard and you're desperate for a boost? Well, here is a highly effective, super quick fix for the busy professional. Swap that stressful, cortisol-spiking afternoon coffee for a stomach-soothing herbal mint tea. It gives you a great moment of hydration and calm without throwing your entire endocrine system into chaos. I really want you to let this sink in. Your body isn't broken. It just needs the right fuel. Take notes, experiment a little, and be your own health detective. Because the moment you stop fighting your biology and start taking control of your nutrition, you get your power back. You literally transform your cycle from a huge liability into a highly manageable, predictable rhythm.
So, I'll leave you with this one provocative question to think about. What is the single specific symptom that always seems to ruin your week? Is it the deep cramps, the brain fog, or the heavy bloating? Really think about it, because once you pinpoint your worst symptom, you can take these exact strategies and start hacking your cycle today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and here is to your most productive, pain-free month yet.